Hi guys, this is Tina. Welcome back to my channel. So just here for another episode of my Fabulous Flowers series. I'm so excited because I have been playing constantly and experimenting with different things, and kind of what I had really hoped would come out of the series is that kind of together we would all evolve and kind of, you know, grow some new ideas. And finally it's happened. So it was kind of like a bit of a light bulb moment. I've played around and I've actually come up with kind of a few different ideas. So the first one we're going to do in this video, and then I'm going to do another couple of videos, you know, with the other ideas that I've come up with. So I hope that you're going to really enjoy them. So in this video, we're going to play around with envelopes and incorporating flowers onto our envelopes. So if I kind of show you the things that I have come up with. So the first one here is just incorporating basically a largish envelope. So if I just grab my little stack here. So I've just literally coffee dyed some envelopes here. And if I just get kind of one out, literally I've just coffee dyed it. And then what I did here, I mean, as you can see, this was a slightly larger envelope. And then I glued the flap down and obviously popped the flower on here, and then I've cut the top open so it's a top loading pocket. Oh, must quickly show you while I'm here, because I promised my daughter that I would. So my daughter, whilst I was experimenting madly, kind of, you know, playing with different ideas, she was crafting beside me, and her latest kind of craft fad, she's 5, she's got a box of kind of craft items that I just keep for her in the cupboard. So she just grabs her box out and plays around, and then every few minutes comes over, Mum, can you glue this? Can you glue that? And, you know, can you glue the other? And her latest thing is she's making rings. So she's made this lovely ring for me just from some little paper, and it's got this lovely mirror on it. And she's made hundreds of these. She also got a load of sellotape and beads and wound them around to make a massive kind of gem, and made a ring for herself, which was really cute. But she can't find it, otherwise would have shown you that. So, or this was her. Oops. This was her version of my ring. Hers had a heart on it. So that one was just still laying around on my table. But yeah, she's kind of really enjoying doing that. So I'm going to try and keep it on, but I might have to take it off during the course of the video. Right, so back to what we're actually here for. Sorry about that, bit of diversion there. So I'll move these two out of the way, and we'll come to these, you know, kind of after we do this first tutorial. So to make this one, basically get your envelope. Oops, my glue now not playing, so not a very good start to the video, is it? Literally glue your flap down. So just glue that down. Like that. And then let me just grab some tissue here from my bundle of tissue that's to the side, so that I can just kind of dab up any excess glue. Right. What I found was, you know, quite fun to do, I just randomly stamped around on my envelope. So I've just bought these two kind of stamps along. I bought this one, which I talked about in my show and tell video a few weeks ago. Love this one, and obviously very appropriate because being a postcard theme, and it's an envelope. And then I've got these gorgeous ones from Crafty Individuals, all kind of different postcard and kind of postmark stamps. So I just thought we'll just grab a couple of them. So I'm just going to grab kind of a couple of my favourites. So there we go. Just a look, see if I've got any others that I want to use. No. Right, so I'll just get my stays on. And all I'm going to do is literally just kind of randomly stamp around, just so as we've got a kind of bit of background going on and it's not a plain envelope. Obviously this isn't an essential step. I just thought it was kind of nice and, you know, something kind of fun to do. So I might just stamp down here, and what I might do is just literally stamp kind of the address kind of half of the stamp and not stamp the rest, so as I don't get the full stamp going over like that. Sorry about the wobble on my desk. My desk is really quite an old desk. I love it, you know, I bought it intentionally. Got it from eBay. It's one of those kind of French looking kind of painted desks, but it is very rickety, so yeah, you'll have to excuse when I actually stamp on here. It kind of moves quite a lot, so sorry about that. And I'm just going to stamp this one over here like that. I mean, literally we're just doing it so we've got a bit of kind of interest around the page. I've got this cute then postcard, so we just kind of, we could stamp that going this way just for a kind of different effect. We could stamp another one here, and then I've got this little postmark stamp. We could just kind of pop that on here. Maybe another one over there. You know, I mean, literally kind of, we're just popping some interest on here. So I might just pop another little postcard stamp up here. Just kind of going off of the page like that. So I'll just pop those back in the packet before they get lost in the mess that is my desk here. Now, all I did, move them out of the way because also my desk is not obviously the biggest desk and it is very, very, very messy. Right. Put the stays on back in the drawer. Okay, right. So all I did was found kind of a flower that I thought would complement the style. So here I have got a lot of fussy cutting that I have been doing, obviously as part of this series as well. Loads and loads and loads of different kind of flowers and things that, you know, I just thought might be nice for this series. I mean, that one's quite nice, I think. Let me just have a look. Or we could have something like this. Let me just move them to one side again. Or that one's quite nice, actually. Yeah, I might prefer that. Or that one's nice. I mean, actually, I think they're all pretty nice, to be honest. Or maybe we'll go for this one. Yeah, I quite like that. So what I'm going to do is just ink it a little bit before we glue it on. I mean, I have cut pretty close to the image, so there shouldn't really be too much white kind of showing from the book page, obviously. But there are one or two places where I couldn't get in, obviously, in the gaps. So we're just kind of inking those so they blend in with the background page. And obviously just any bits that I have missed around the edge. There we go. So I hope you're all having a good day. It's Sunday morning here. I mean, obviously I'm doing these videos ahead of time so I've got some to be able to upload them kind of regularly for you guys. And you're not kind of there waiting kind of a week between episodes. So it may not be Sunday morning when I actually upload this, but today when I'm filming it's Sunday morning. It's really nice and sunny out there today, but it was ever so windy when we first got up. So right, now what I'm going to do is just Mod Podge that down. So just got a paintbrush here. Now, I'm often very messy with Mod Podge and actually just use my fingers, but because I'm doing a video, I try and be a little bit more kind of professional. So I've just got here, this is just the back of a card that I've just been using as my kind of messy space. So I'll just take some Mod Podge there. Oops. Missed the image completely and just dobbed it onto the card. Hence, I obviously need a messy space. If you watch my channel regularly, you will know that I am a very messy crafter. So, yeah. Right, hold on. Bring this back. And just pop it down where you want it. You know, it doesn't have to be in the centre. I just thought that looked quite pretty. Like that. Okay. Right, I'm going to move Mod Podge out of the way because we will need that for the next idea that we're going to be doing. So there we go. And then all I'm going to do, because I want this to look really kind of rustic and vintage, so let me see if I have another old card or something laying around, which I know that I do. Whether or not I can actually find it now in time, rather than waste everybody's time for hours looking for it, is another story altogether. But right, here we go. So just so that it looks really quite nice and vintage, although it has been coffee dyed, I just kind of ink it quite a bit around the edges, and obviously concentrating on the envelope flaps, just so it kind of picks that up and recognises, you know, that it is an envelope. Again, I mean, not essential, but just kind of all adds to it, I think. There we go. So, I mean, I think that looks really pretty, you know, literally just even as it is. But what I did just for an extra kind of detail was I've got some ribbon here. It's just satin ribbon, probably getting on for 1 inch thick. And I just literally wound it round and tied a bow, just because I thought that looked, you know, kind of pretty and added some extra detail to this. So just place it roughly where you want it. And I mean, obviously we haven't glued it down or anything, so we can move it around a bit. But just tie a bow approximately. Oops, that was the back of the ribbon there. Hold on. And again, this is a very fiddly thing for me, so I have to excuse my technique, because I think maybe I had that ribbon a bit short. Let me just make it a bit longer. Right. Right. And then just obviously play around with your ribbon until you get it quite, you know, how you want it to look. Come on, come on. So yeah, this was just some satin ribbon. It wasn't expensive or anything. It was just kind of, you know, I mean, actually quite a cheap ribbon, which strangely enough picks up the coffee dye really brilliantly. So I just literally, as soon as I bought it, just got it home and coffee dyed the entire reel. And it just took it brilliantly. So, you know, just like that. And then all I do is just pop some glue along the back, just to keep the ribbon exactly in place, like that. And then for me personally, I like to then just dab a bit of hot glue on the front to keep that ribbon exactly in place. You may not find that that's necessary. I like to just be really certain that it's not going to be kind of coming undone or moving. Sorry, that was my hot glue gun again going off the desk. It's always happening. Right. There we go. And then all I did was literally snip along the top as close as you possibly can get to the actual fold of the envelope, like that. And then you've got obviously a perfect pocket, a bit like a paper bag, I guess. So if I just bring in a blank journal that I haven't quite started working on yet, just to kind of show you how that would look. So I'm just kind of laying pieces out in this one. It's not ready to go yet, but just to kind of show you how that would look. So that's how that would look on a page. And you could obviously stick it down like a tuck spot, just kind of down two sides. You could stick it down kind of, you know, like that, and have it as a side loading pocket, you know, however you liked really. And I'll just show you how the original one that I've made off camera would look as well. So obviously this is a larger envelope, but exactly the same thing. So top loading pocket like that, and again could just be glued in, sticking it down like that, and have it as a kind of side pocket. You know, you could add some lace, you could add some ruffle at the bottom, however you like really, but I just thought they were really, really nice. And actually I'm going to definitely make some more of those because I think they look really, really lovely. Right, so that's kind of idea number one. I was quite chuffed to have actually come up with something kind of new and different. So I'm just going to move those kind of out of the way. Now the second thing that I came up with, which I absolutely love, and super excited by these. So I hope that you guys really love them, you know, as much as I do. So these also from envelopes, but they're stuffed envelopes. So they're, you know, might just call them blooming stuffed envelopes, because obviously they're stuffed with blooms all bursting out from the envelopes. Love them. Think they're really pretty. So we'll do, you know, one or maybe two, seeing how the time goes. So you can kind of get an idea of these. But again, super simple. I mean, I never do anything that's complicated. I think I've said a million times before, but I'm quite a clumsy person, and my hands don't operate in a very, you know, precise kind of delicate way. So for me, everything has to be super simple and super easy, you know, to do. So if I'm doing it, rest assured, it's something pretty easy to do. So I'm going to take a couple of envelopes. I'm not sure whether this would be too wide for a page, so let me just grab the journal back. Yeah, unfortunately this one is actually too wide for the page, so that's a bit of a shame. So I mean, I guess you could cut the flap that way, I don't know. Right, so what we'll do, we'll just work with a couple of smaller ones and do those instead. So I'm going to move those out of the way. So we'll do one at a time. We'll do the tiny one first, because obviously this one I have got a sample in that size, so just in case we run out of time. So again, I'm just going to take all my fussy cut pieces, those hundreds of pieces that I've sat cutting for the last few evenings, and just kind of get some bits that will look pretty coming out of this little envelope. Now, not essential, but I quite like things kind of coordinated, you know, colour wise. So I'm just going to kind of go for a sort of, you know, similar colourway here, I think. And literally all you're going to do is kind of build up, you know, a few until you find it looks kind of as you would like it to look. So, you know, and you want them to look like they're bursting out from the envelope. So just kind of having a look to see what colours I've got here that will look good. You know, hence the bursting blooms envelopes. I'm not sure about that particular combination because they're kind of quite different style of flowers. Now, I have used a couple of different books through the, you know, through this series for my fussy cut flowers. This one, I think, was something like the Oxford Book of Garden Flowers. It was from about 1965 or 55, something like that. So it is vintage. Not really old, but, you know, vintage enough. I wonder whether I should just kind of tear around those. And they have a really great selection of flowers in that book. So unfortunately I haven't actually got the book anymore because I actually tore all the pages out because there was quite a bit of text and I was trying to declutter a bit. So I thought, oh, I know, I'll tear the pages out that I'm going to fussy cast and actually get rid of the book. So I no longer actually have the book itself. So, and the cover was pretty tatty. So yeah, I haven't actually got it. I wonder if it actually says here. Normally says, doesn't it, running along the top of the page, but I can't see anything. But I'm sure it was something like the Oxford Book of Flowers. Lovely, lovely images. Really gorgeous. And just perfect for a project a bit like this. Just having a look to see if I've got any other kind of small lilac-y ones. I've got these actually. So perhaps I'll cut those down. Perhaps get rid of those. So, I mean, the time-consuming bit, obviously, you know, aside from cutting the flowers, which took, you know, a long time. But the other time-consuming bit is obviously then, you know, selecting things that you think are going to look good together and kind of complement one another in the flap. But, I mean, once you've done that, it's all go. So, let's have a look. You know, I mean, obviously, you just kind of select the ones that you fancy using. So, I've got here. Let's have a look. See whether I could use this one at all. And obviously, once you've kind of cut out the basic flowers, you can then, you know, play around with really kind of finalising the ones that you actually really want to use. So, for instance, here, you know, I could just kind of incorporate that one on top as well. And then that kind of goes slightly better. So something like that, I think, looks quite nice. So all you're going to do is literally Mod Podge, obviously, again. So I'm just going to pour a little bit into the lid here. And then my brush is now a bit dry, but never mind. Okay, just check which part's going to be in the envelope. Now, obviously, it doesn't matter if you apply the Mod Podge to the bit that's not going to be in the envelope. It doesn't matter. You know, you just want to make sure that you really have covered the bit that's going to be in. So, and then again, you can just play around with how you want it to look. You know, how far in you want it kind of poking in, like that. So then I'll take the next ones, and again, you know, and again, doesn't matter at all, you know, if you Mod Podge some that's not going to be in. So like that. Oops. Just pop them down like that, and then I'm just going to add this one because I thought that kind of went quite nicely. So I'm just going to chop this leaf down here just to make it a slightly better shape. You know, I mean, you don't have to be too precise to this because obviously once they're kind of down on the envelope, maybe we'll just cut this. Just said you don't have to be so precise, but you know, when you kind of know things are there, they do bother you, don't they? So there we go, that's better. So again, just literally, and the whole of this is in the envelope, so, or in the flap, so I will just do the whole of it. Pop that to one side. There we go. And that's literally it. And then it's entirely up to you how you want to decorate, or you know, if you want to decorate. You may not want to decorate it at all. But I think what's quite nice, obviously I've only made 2 so far, you know, and kind of they will obviously evolve, kind of, you know, the more that I make. But you could obviously do some stamping down here, or you could pop a little flower, oops, that kind of complements it down in the corner, which I did on one of them, obviously. I thought looked quite nice. Actually, that one might look better, so let me just again cut this one out. So you could have that kind of there, or maybe it might look quite nice on that corner. So I nearly dipped my finger in the Mod Podge then and just did it with my finger. Nearly forgot that I was filming and trying to be a bit neater and tidier. Right, there we go. So that's that one. And then, obviously, again, we want it to all tie in and blend in really nicely. So I'm just going to grab my piece of card again, grab my distress ink, and again it's just the vintage photo, which is now drying out. So again, I've been on the hunt for the re-inkers, so I don't know, I'm going to try and get some re-inker rather than a new ink pad this time, but there we go. It's funny because they go from being really, really, really juicy to suddenly they're quite dry. That seems to happen, you know, quite suddenly. They go from almost so juicy that I kind of have to dab it off before actually applying it to my work, and then suddenly they, you know, they're dried out. Right, so again, I mean, that just looks to me, you know, really pretty kind of as it is, but obviously we could decorate that further. I have got here a little bow that I'd already tied. I don't know whether this will fit around here because I tied it yesterday around something else, but in the pink, which just looks quite pretty, and obviously you could have that up higher. Right, now obviously I had used this for something else, but I like to use things, so I'm just going to glue this down. Like that. And then on the other bit as well. And then I can obviously cut that off. So I'm not actually wasting that. I'd obviously tied it round something yesterday and then didn't end up liking it on there. But I do like it on here and think it looks really pretty. So I'm just going to pop a little bow, dob of hot glue there underneath the bow. Just like we did on the other one, just to kind of hold it in place and keep it there nicely. So I'm just going to move this out of the way while that dries. And I think we've got time to do another one. So, yeah, I absolutely love these. I think they're absolutely gorgeous. So we'll do one more and then we'll kind of have a look and see how they look on a journal page. So I'll just bring a square envelope in. So again, obviously then just sort through your flowers that you've cut. And obviously what's quite good is because you're kind of layering them up, you can obviously then cut them down. You know, if you want to kind of change how they are, then you can obviously then cut them down at this point so that, you know, you've got different ones. Look. Got a couple here that I actually haven't finished cutting, so... they're quite pretty, aren't they? Shame I didn't spot those just now. Let's try these. And obviously it's just a case of kind of popping them in until you're, you know, happy with how they look. But they're quite fun to make, and you know, I think they look really pretty, really, really pretty. So and I just thought they were a bit of a new thing to do, and I might be completely wrong. So if I am, and other people have made these before, I really apologise. You know, I'm not trying to kind of steal somebody else's idea and kind of claim it's mine or anything like that. I just obviously haven't seen them, you know, because obviously we kind of don't always see kind of everything, do we? So yes, I'm not trying to kind of pinch other people's ideas or anything. Right, so I'm just going to kind of start sticking some bits down because, you know, then it's kind of easier to work. So I'll pop that one kind of covering the flap a bit, like that. And then this one I might actually just cut this separately. I might get rid of that green around the top there. So, and you see, I mean, these are pretty cool because you can obviously then just kind of cut them down as you're using them. You know, if they're not working for you, you can just kind of alter them about a little bit. Okay. I can't decide how to have this one, so it's just so typical, isn't it? Because the ones that I did yesterday just came together really quickly. And now I'm just playing around and it's not working so well as yesterday's. So I do apologise for the endless fiddling around, but obviously I do want them to kind of look right, you know, as I kind of would like them to. So I probably just then need to find another little small flower to kind of fill the gap. So just literally, oops, glue this one down. Like that. And I'm just going to pop this one here, running through the middle. So I'll glue this one down first. Oops. Right, it's now getting very messy. The Mod Podge is now getting all over my hands. Oops, I've now glued it onto the messy mat beneath. Now again, I was very careful yesterday, and even when it was kind of overlapping, I was really careful not to let that happen. But obviously, doing a video, everything goes awry, doesn't it? And, you know, you end up making a lot more mess. So we could have that one there. So again, I might just separate this one out like that. So as we've just got a smaller piece to work with. Just pop that in there. Like that. Okay. And we could have this one here like that. And then we could have that one there, and then we just need something for here. Which will that kind of fill that space? Let's just have a look. Yeah, so that looks nice, doesn't it? So we'll just pop this one down first. So, and again, you know, you just play around with it to get it how you want it. I mean, you don't have to obviously cover every single space, you know, completely up to you, how you want it to look. It's fine to not have every single space covered. There we go. Yeah, they're a little bit addictive, these. So, and as I say, I have been playing around and come up with another couple of ideas, which I can't wait to do the videos of those either. So, hence, I mean, I don't normally do videos at weekends, really. But I was so excited with what I'd kind of come up with that I actually couldn't wait to do them. So, hence, I'm obviously doing one now. I just literally, I couldn't wait until Monday. Okay. So just pop that one there. And then, I mean, for me, I might just have to fill in one or two small gaps. So I've got these pretty ones here. So if I just cut them round the yellow, you know, the yellow would be fine, but I feel a bit funny about putting the yellow in because there's not really kind of any other yellow here. So we could just pop that one in there. And again, I'm just going to kind of neaten that up slightly so it's got a bit less of the white showing. And obviously how easily this kind of comes together all just depends on you know, the shape of the flower selection that you've got. So, you know, the ones I obviously did previously just obviously, you know, came together perfectly because they were kind of a good selection of shapes. Well, that and the fact that obviously I wasn't doing a video, so they were bound to work a lot better than these ones. So let me just see whether I've got anything else to just fill in that little tiny space kind of here or here. So what I might do is this flower here. So it's still hanging off, you know, so it still looks pretty and got some overhang. But then I can just pop that one just in there or in here actually. Just so it's not quite so kind of pink overloaded on that side. So it just evens it out slightly more. So I'll just pop that one in there and just see if I've got anything else that I can just pop in this space here. I mean, again, it really, you know, it's not essential, but I just feel like it could do with something. So maybe I'll just cut the top off of these. Like that. And I could just pop those there. That just looks slightly better to me. So again, just literally, you know, and you're not trying to be too precise there. So gorgeous. Look really, really pretty, don't they? So that's those. Let me move one of these out to the side before I literally drop them everywhere. And then all I'm going to do is, again, we'll just ink this up so as it looks, you know, blended into the envelope itself. You know, because that just disguises any of the white from the book that's, oops, that's still showing. I have to just glue that piece down again in a minute. So it just helps to blend it in so as it looks like actually part of the envelope flap. So there we go. And then I'm just going to literally Mod Podge that one down again, just because it was not really stuck very well. So, you know, to me, that just looks absolutely gorgeous, even just how it is. You know, it doesn't even really need anything else on there. But, you know, as always, kind of, it's nice to decorate things up even further. So if you wanted to kind of add some lace trim, you could kind of do that. Maybe even pop some lace trim kind of on the V of the envelope. Maybe looks quite nice. So perhaps I'll try that now. Hopefully this is going to go okay. Obviously this is a little bit going off piste, and I hope that doesn't kind of backfire on me. So I'm just going to use the hot glue just again for speed, because I want to kind of get this down pretty quickly. So I'm just going to literally glue that like that. And then probably what's best is if I actually cut that. So I just cut it down. Oops. And then just kind of cut another piece. And we can just literally overlap that, and to be honest, it will look quite neat, but we might cover that further anyway with something like a little bow. So just literally like that. Cut it off at the edge. Just going to cut this bit off that was a bit tatty there. you know, for me, I just like to now kind of run some glue down and actually stick it down further. But, you know, I have noticed that lots of people don't. I think it's just that for me, I'm a little bit, you know, cat-handed. So I kind of tend to keep catching it if it's still flapping. So, you know, for me, it's kind of better if it's actually attached properly. There we go. And then you could obviously finish it off now with maybe just a little flower there. Or let's have a look in my tin here. You could pop a little fabric flower on. Let's just take one of those. And you could ink that up so as it looks kind of more vintagey. Oops. So you could kind of pop that on there. Looks quite pretty. Or you could kind of try and pick up the colour of your flowers and kind of pop something on here that was kind of similar colour. Now I'm just having a quick rummage through my tin. I don't know whether I've got anything quite right. What we could do is we could just have kind of something like that. Just trim that down a bit. I mean, there's a variety of things that, to be honest, they all look quite pretty, don't they? Kind of, you know, how to finish it off. So I'm not sure which one I actually like best. Possibly this, actually. And what's quite nice is obviously it can go slightly lower. So, you know, I think that looks quite pretty. And again, you can obviously ink your flower up so that it's... And actually... could pop a purple one underneath. So let me just ink that up as well. Let me check what time I'm up to. 47 minutes. So we're doing quite well because I've been trying to keep these roughly to time. Although, to be honest, I say that they've gone a bit to pot lately. I had obviously my massive hour-and-a-half one. And then I did have a 28-minute one, I think. So I think that looks quite pretty. Or we could have that in there. Maybe even just that. You see, this again where I shouldn't have started trying all different things because it was better just staying focused. Right, I might just revert back to my original plan and keep it kind of simple. So I'm just going to pop some glue on here, and I'm just going to pop it slightly beneath the lace so it's not too bulky. And then let's just do that actually. Let me have a look. I don't think it really needs that, to be honest. So I'm just going to glue the this kind of blingy flower in the middle like that. So obviously, you know, I've just kind of tried to now finish this off to spare you guys any further kind of deliberation and mucking about from my point of view. But I mean, obviously now, you know, you could stamp around that and just finish it off further. So I'm just going to grab my little stamps again and just stamp on that gorgeous postcard sentiment there. So we could just pop that down here. we just pop a little bit of the scripty kind of stamp. Trying to think how to do this without getting it everywhere, so just take it like that. There we go. So that looks lovely now. So all I'm going to do now is quickly show you how they will look in your journal. So let me grab my blank journal again. So bear with me. Right, again, so if we just grab a page, and you would obviously just attach that to your page. So personally, I would probably Mod Podge the top part, and then possibly just run glue around the bottom section so that you've got then a side loading pocket in there, and obviously you've got your top loading pocket from the envelope itself, like that. So that's that one. I'll just show you the others that we've done. That's the small one, which gorgeous, aren't the small ones so pretty? So again, I would probably just glue the top bit down or Mod Podge the top bit, and then, you know, you could have it kind of higher up, or, you know, however you like really, but you could then have a little side pocket in here, or you could have it kind of as a little tuck spot there from the bottom. But either way, or even if you glued the entire thing down, you've got obviously a pocket in the top, and it looks like literally a bouquet of flowers on your page. I'll show you the other two that I'd also done, you know, before the video. So this is this one, which again, now this one, as you can see, I didn't go so mad with the flowers. So this one's slightly more kind of bare, if you like. So you could have that there, and then you could, you know, with this one, if you wanted to kind of trim a flower off, you could actually kind of glue it and have it as a tuck spot like that. But again, either way, you've got your big pocket there from the envelope. And then finally, this last one, this is probably my favourite. So again, for me, I would feel I need to kind of sort of attach this down, purely because of the obviously book page that you've got kind of hanging over the edge. So I would probably attach that down and then possibly glue it as a little side pocket like that. And then again, you've obviously got your large pocket there from the envelope. So I absolutely love these. You know, I think they're really, really, really cute, and just, yeah, very fun to make. So I hope that you like them, and, you know, I hope that this video was useful. You know, I hope that we're kind of learning together, and certainly for me, this was something new that I hadn't really done before. So that was kind of a bonus for me to come out of this series, is that, you know, I've learned some new stuff and kind of tried to push myself outside of my boundaries too. So hope that you like everything that we've made, and I'd love it if you you know, give some a try and send me pictures or anything like that. Trying to learn how to use Instagram a little bit more at the moment, and I know that Carol very kindly tagged me in some of her photos. I don't know why, but Instagram kind of, I don't really go on there very often, but, you know, I can see that obviously it's a brilliant way to share pictures. So, you know, if you do make any and wanted to share them, then that would be fantastic. I'd love to see what yours come out like. So thanks very much for watching, and I will see you for the next episode, where I've got another couple of ideas coming up. So thanks very much, and I'll see you soon. Thanks, Em. Bye.